Author's note. Everyone considers my story to be true crime, but this book is a work of memory, my memory, and therefore is a memoir, and not an outsider's investigation of my life or crime. The feelings and emotion invoked are accurate. While some of my childhood memories have faded, these particular events remain vivid. To fill many gaps, I've relied on other people's answers to my questions. The typical disclaimers apply. Some
Just for the sake of Celine, Beth, and Nancy Grace, let's go over a few inconsistencies in this book that obviously we didn't read. Shall we?
1. Sava. That's enough. When Dee Dee Blanchard was 24 years old, she gave life to me. When I was nearly 24 years old, I took life from her. I firmly.
So, Celine, this is, you know, the one and all, her, me, for all the trauma that I'm about to disprove. This is the reason that she took Dee Dee's life.
People really want to know, what was the final straw? When was the moment when I decided it was her or me? Here you go, y'all, on page 3. 1 month before the murder, my mother tried to cut my throat. At least, that's how I saw it. The cause of concern, suddenly, was my voice. It's so high-pitched. It's so squeaky. My mother complained to my ear, nose, and throat specialist. I thought my voice was distinct, like my.
Yeah, she thought her throat was going to just be, you know, she took it that way. Not that that's what she did to Dee Dee, because she was in that room. That can be proven too. I mean, in all honesty and opinions, in my humble opinion, she absolutely was in there with Nick, if not before Nick got there. But who am I, you know? Let's listen to her story, story from this entire debacle, this one situation that was enough. Let's hear what the doctor had to say, shall we?
My mother complained to my ear, nose, and throat specialist. I thought my voice was distinct, like my uncommon name. Or maybe it was a family trait to be proud of. We both knew women on my mother's side of the family with similar high-pitched voices. Besides, Nick said my childlike chirp was sexy. So I didn't understand the issue, and I told my mother so. Never.
Isn't it crazy that even explaining this, she has to put in some innuendo? Even in this, she cannot like restrain herself. She can't do it. She can't.
Never in front of the doctors, of course. I knew better than that. But on the way home, I went on and on, like, well, a squeaky wheel. There's nothing wrong with my voice, I said with a whimper, as she pushed me in my portable wheelchair to the parking lot where our car was parked, outside the hospital in downtown Kansas City.
So, you were in Kansas City to see this ENT? Gosh, I bet that was terrifying to sit in that parking lot and argue with your mother on your way home, you said. But now you're in the parking lot. Just a little, that's nothing though. Was it warm? Was it daylight? Was it dark? Was there anybody around that you could say, "Hey, help. My mama, my mama." No. Dang. Dang.
No matter my sassing, we were going to go ahead and meet with the pulmonologist the ENT had just recommended, though we both knew very well I didn't have sleep apnea. In fact, by this point, the entire ruse had been up between us for a while. I was 23 and had tried to run away twice. I'd shot her with a BB gun. She'd chained me to the bed. I was getting older and much harder to control.
We're going to stop right there and go over this piece by piece really fast. I don't want to take too long because it will be an, I don't know, 24-hour video. But let's go over that ENT throat doctor appointment, shall we? Let's talk about that because, I think that's extremely important to the case when that is the entire reason you wanted to take your mother's life. So I'm going to let Audacious Audrey, find her on YouTube, Audacious Audrey 06, because I don't have these records. I don't have this information. We can just all see it. So, Nancy, Grace, and Celine, just listen. Please listen.
Here is her patient appointment summary report. And right here on 5/1/2015 is her appointment with the ENT for the vocal cord dysfunction syndrome. But there's one thing I would like to point out. How did that conversation, that car ride, and that doctor's appointment ever happen when the appointment was canceled, Gypsy? You didn't even go.
So, what that means is pretty much all of her medical records show that every appointment was canceled. Pretty much everything went quiet really after 2011. And it's even documented where Dee Dee was completely okay and didn't want to do any more testing on Gypsy when they found out she had 1q21.1 microdeletion. Yeah, she was happy where Gypsy was. Also, Gypsy's mama Dee Dee didn't have a power of attorney, a conservatorship, nothing over Gypsy. The only thing Dee Dee had was it was a power of attorney if she was incapacitated. That's it. Nobody pretended Gypsy had a mental delay or couldn't make decisions except for Gypsy. But it was never approved. So all dental work, everything done for Gypsy, Gypsy Rose signed her name on that dotted line to have done. Not Dee Dee. But that appointment never happened. That conversation never happened. And you know what else? She even slips up and tells Melissa Moore and the production while she's in prison. She makes up a fake doctor because they want to speak to the larynx, the ENT specialist that she was referred to. Except she was never referred. And you can check her medical records. I do not have them. Just speak to Audrey or the Good Wise Network or Becca Scoops. I looked on their channels to show a better picture, and I've just spent over 2 hours. I can't find it, and I even posted about it, and I cannot find it. I don't know where the video went. Anywho, it is on there where pretty much every doctor's appointment was canceled. But let me show you where she said to Melissa Moore and the team, etc. Because I did want to speak to the ENT specialist, the referral that was given. She gave a fake number, a fake doctor, and everything. That's how she wanted to start.
I'd shot her with a BB gun. She'd chained me to the bed. I was getting older and much harder to control. The older I got, the more physical and harsher her punishments became. She stopped letting me use my custom-made Jazzy HD power wheelchair because she couldn't control it. I sensed she was becoming more erratic, more desperate. Only now do I see how her back was against the wall. The lie of the life she had created could have gotten her thrown in jail on a list of felony charges as long as the bayou.
Really, Gypsy? Because, again, you were an adult. She had no conservatorship, no power of attorney, no medical power of attorney, no guardianship over you at this point. The day you turned 18. Let's not forget, you lied in the interrogation when you were arrested and said you were 19. You were. How come there was never chains found in your house? What was found were those sheets tied together underneath Dee Dee, soaked with her own blood. That's what we found. Chained to a bed, dog collars, which were your BDSM colors to level up from white to pink to black, red, whichever way they go, because I don't know. No, I'm not, this is not no shame in that. I'm just saying I don't know anything about it. That's what they found. The handcuffs were found in Nicholas's house in the evidence photos for you and him. Not from Dee Dee for you. I just wanted to point that out. That's just a little bit of her inconsistency. I want to show one more thing, Celine and Nancy. Just one more thing. No. Wait. Whoa. Wait. Let's just wait. I almost let it just slip my mind. The pellet pew pew. That was metal pellets. Not little plastic ones, metal. She unloaded that pellet pew pew on Dee Dee. Yes. She had to go to the ER. Gypsy said it grazed her. She was fine. And Dee Dee covered for her again.
She numbed my mouth with Oragel, so I drool and slur. She was responsible for my teeth falling out due to side effects of superfluous medications. By speaking for me and scripting my every interaction, she deprived me of finding my own voice. Now, the way I saw it, my literal voice, squeaky as it might be, could be taken from me. Her final play. My mother and the pulmonologist scheduled the operation with the same casual enthusiasm of planning a teeth cleaning. Despite my recent awakening to the reality of my life, it was here where I truly feared the scope of her malice. This surgery was completely unnecessary. Exploratory, the doctor called it.
Gosh. You didn't even have the appointment. You didn't even go. The appointment you're speaking of, and you can look back, 5/13, I think it was. Whatever day the appointment was. It was canceled months before. You never even went to it. Where is this referral? What was his name? Where were you going to go? Children's Mercy for this doctor? Oh, yes, that's right. I remember Melissa Moore emailing you in prison. And Melissa Moore asking you, Gypsy, I'm sorry, but the specialist the ENT specialist, the doctor, you must have given us the wrong name or spelled it wrong because we can't find him. He doesn't exist. The number was wrong. The name was wrong. There was no doctor there by that name. No ENT specialist because he didn't exist. And they needed you to get back to them and give them the correct information, which you never did because he didn't exist. Nancy, Celine, this is all readily available for you to look at in the FOIA documents that you guys so blindly follow. This right here. You see, Gypsy likes to say that Dee Dee made her sick. That Dee Dee made her just get these exploratory surgeries and the dental work, which, again, in the medical records, prove she absolutely needed the dental work done. This is common sense. This is what is mind-blowing. Please name one doctor who would risk their entire career, the hard work they did to get to where they were, and just say, okay, I'm going to let this mom just have the surgery because she won't shut up. Please tell me one doctor who would do that. It's not true. And they were on Medicaid. You have to jump through hoops just to get approved for referral. So, again, I'd love to know where this is coming from. And I absolutely do remember Gypsy being looked into for fraud. Not just Dee Dee, but Gypsy too, for SSI and the GoFundMes, etc., etc., etc. But now when you look at it on the internet, it's 404, page not found. If anything does pop up. Mike Stanfield, as her manager, knew what to erase from the internet. You see, nobody ever got to hear certain parts of this interrogation from her police interrogation. A lot of it was buffered out so that we couldn't hear certain things, especially about her medical and about the scamming and her real age. That all got buffered out. You couldn't hear it. It went quiet. So I just want to show you really quickly what she says right here to these police officers, okay?
Gypsy Rose, with a question for you. You said you're on other medications. What are you on the other medications? Even though you don't know what they are, what are you on them for?
Well, I have asthma.
Okay.
So I'm on an inhaler. I think it's called Dulera.
Juvera?
Dulera.
With a D?
D.
Do you know how to spell that?
No, they have a commercial about it.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good to know.
What else I think about what they're for? I'm on Zantac for tummy, like GERD, and I guess indigestion or something like that.
She's sitting here trying to think of what she used to be actually sick from, because she was sick. You do realize the sleep apnea was never real. We both knew it. Can you tell me, Gypsy, how you faked a sleep apnea at 18 months old? How did you do that? How did your mama tell you at 18 months old to go into that room where you're all by yourself and fake that test, and there's cameras everywhere, somebody constantly watching you and monitoring you? Please, I would love to understand it. How can you fake a sleep apnea test? You cannot do it. Even if Dee Dee lay there and had to put the little things on her head herself, you still can't fake a sleep apnea test. Let's continue though. But just see how she's struggling to try and, oh gosh, I'm such a sick girl. Poor little me. I'm so sick.
Upset tummy, I guess.
Stomach issues?
Right.
Think. Come on.
Now, that inhaler that you're on, is that something that you need to be using every day or as needed?
I think it's every day, because I have one that's a constant inhaler that I take every day, and then another one that's a rescue inhaler.
Okay.
But I'm not sure
Do you remember what the rescue inhaler was?
I think
Was
it
that Pulmicort?
I think it was Zopanix.
Zopanex? I don't know, it's just kind of trying to spell it as it sounds. But you take the Duvera inhaler, that's the one you take every day?
Right.
Is it once a day, twice a day?
I think it's one puff a day.
One puff a day.
Gosh, did you see how I think it's twice a day? that medicine closet that you seen jammed, stacked, piled full of medications was a ton of inhalers too, because she didn't use them. You do realize she is like 2 weeks from turning 24 right here. For 6 years, this girl has deceived and continued to lie to her friends, her neighbors, the community. She did. Did Dee Dee go along with it too? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I absolutely feel Dee Dee was scared for Gypsy. She was a sick child. All you have to do is look at her medical records. You're going to see a sick child. What you're not going to see is a mom making her child sick. That's what you're not going to see. But what you are going to see is the doctors repeatedly saying Gypsy's not cooperating. Gypsy is embellishing. Gypsy is intentionally failing tests, like the hearing test. They knew it. Gypsy is malingering. This didn't come from Dee Dee. This came from doctor's notes. All through her doctor's notes it says that. All through it. All through it.
Any other medical conditions that you have that you're taking medications for? Or is that pretty much?
That should be it,
Okay. All right.
Asthma and asthma is pretty much the biggest one, and the seizure disorder is the biggest one.
Okay. If you're off that Duvera inhaler for more than a day or two, do you start having issues with your breathing?
It depends on what my triggers are, and usually if it's stress, I might have an asthma attack. If it's something like seasonal allergies, I might have an attack. It just kind of depends, but I've been trying to keep calm.
Okay, does the air conditioning help with it?
It does.
Okay, all right, well that's good to know that, okay? Well, thank you very much, I appreciate your service. All right, you just relax.
I thought she didn't have seizures. She said she didn't have them. She knows her mother's gone. Why is she lying? Why is she lying? See, we never got to hear this before until Nick lost all of his appeals. Also, this didn't go well with the HBO documentary that they already had played out. Now let's connect those dots real quick, Celine and Nancy. Her lawyer, Mike Stanfield, took her case to date right here. June 15, 2015, he was assigned her case. He asked for the case, and he was assigned it. But you know what you're not told? He had a previous client who was an ex of Gypsy's. 50-year-old Richard King, who Gypsy got caught having some sort of rendezvous with. A lot of online stuff too. You hear my chicks in the back. They agree. This is crazy, right? So he definitely knew Gypsy was this little local celebrity. This poor little sweet innocent girl. This Cinderella story could happen. A lot of politics were involved. The day they arrested Nick, all processing of DNA stopped, evidence stopped, everything. They wouldn't even allow them to have the SD card for Nick's defense attorney. I'm not saying Nick should be free. He's right where he should be. She's the one who shouldn't be free. If you're going to give him that punishment, why is it she? She orchestrated it. She planned it. She paid him to come do it. She bought the weapon, handed him the weapon. I'm confused, Celine and Nancy. How is she a victim again? And how is Dee Dee the ABUSER? That's her. But you're all so sure she was telling the truth about. I just want to show you guys not even a month before, 2000, well, a year before, but she had, as of, there was also one Gypsy said a month before to the cops. She said this. You'll hear it in just a minute. But on 4/29/2014, we were having a break with the volunteers today, and Gyp had a bad seizure in the yard. I think she is pushing herself a little too much. This is Dee Dee now, posting from the Snow Gypsy Facebook, Snow Gyp account, Snow Gypsy Blanchard, I think it is. Let me make sure. Well, it's, yes. Okay. You know, she's just pushing herself too much. They're back at the hospital, probably. She is excited, but she needs to take it easy. Yeah, we are impatient and resting. The doctor says she might be able to go home tomorrow or the next day because she hit her head. I thank y'all, to all the volunteers who helped take the wheelchair off of Gyp and helping us. We heart y'all, and we'll see you soon. Now, Rod and Christy both speak in this Facebook post, and Rod and Christy, as you've seen in previous videos I've done, they speak from 2013 to 2015. I read you tons, not even half the messages, but tons of messages where they stayed in contact. Constantly. Dee Dee, mainly, but Dee Dee constantly was reaching out to Rod to call Gypsy to... Sometimes do I think that it was Gypsy that was doing it? I do, because they both did it. They both did. We also seen where Gypsy intercepted messages, so Dee Dee couldn't see them. But I'm getting way ahead of myself. I just wanted to show that seizure. Let's get back to her interrogation really fast, shall we? Okay, so she's been resting for almost an hour, probably. It's been a minute. It's been a while. No, probably about 30 minutes. But here you go. They're coming in because they're concerned for Gypsy.
That's the only real huge.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, Gypsy Rose, this is Deputy Dorn here. Going to be taking care of you.
I'm gonna take you, hey, how are you?
How you doing?
I'm gonna take you up to the hospital, but I gotta ask you to stand up, please. And get you looked at. Can you turn around, put your arms out?
Who's with you?
Me alone.
What's that?
They're grasping for straw, says we are. Hand in on?
So you brought you off on the road?
No, I just happened to be in the wrong place at the right
Ah.
time.
Okay. She's been fine.
Okay.
So they take her to the hospital, do a whole workup of blood work, and get her on her medications that she's not been taking in God knows how long. Because she told them she was sick, right? But wait, I almost forgot. Let me show you the initial. I can't believe I almost forgot this, Elaine and Nancy.
Gypsy Rose, when you came up here, did you bring the proper clothing with you?
I did. I brought a suitcase and I brought a backpack.
You brought a suitcase and a backpack. Was there any medications or anything in the suitcase or the backpack?
There was some pain pills that I used for my back, but
Were they prescription pain pills?
yes.
What type of prescription pain pills?
I think they're Vicodin. Either Vicodin or Naproxen, one or the other.
One or the other?
Yeah.
Okay, how long have you been on those?
I've been on those for my new doctor. So
I wanted to point that out because those are Dee Dee's pain pills. Gypsy's not on pain pills. Gypsy is stealing them. And she's trying to tell them a story, make it up on how long she's been on them when she's never been on. They can check. Like, she doesn't know this? She does. But she genuinely wants that pain medication right now. She did. And that's why I think you see Dee Dee telling Rod I had to give her some pain meds. And you see Gypsy in videos definitely on pain meds sometimes. I think Dee Dee knew she was taking her pain meds and stealing them. And I do think that Dee Dee would give them to her to calm her temperament sometimes. That I do. Or because Gypsy was lying again. Gypsy was. But before I get to the lie, let me let you hear what you just said, what she says.
About 4 months.
4 months? Do you take them every day, or are you just as needed?
Just as needed when I'm in pain.
Just as
Any
needed.
other medications that you're on other than what you mentioned to me with that Capra and
I was on some medications, but whenever I left home, I kind of left all my medications behind.
so you're on many more medications?
Right, yeah.
Because originally you only told me you were on one.
Right, but I only brought the one. Well, I didn't bring any with me except for the pain one. But at my house back in Missouri, my mom always kept a full stocked closet of all my medicines that I was on. But I didn't exactly take them with me. So
Okay. Do you know what the names of all your medications were?
she knows them. If I can just call her.
Okay, we'll get that all taken care of in a little while. Did you
Call her? This chick knows. Do you hear this, Nancy and Celine? This doesn't sound like someone who's scared, who could just be like, oh, can I just tell you what happened, what I've been going through? You guys are comparing her to like one of the Tarpon kids. True victims, true survivors.
Did you know, other than the Capra and this other medication, did you know any of the other ones you were taking?
To be honest, she always took good care of me, so I never really bothered to ask. I just
Okay.
took my medicine like I was supposed
Okay.
to.
All right. Are you doing good right now? You need any water or anything?
Some water would be nice.
Okay, so why don't you step on out here? We'll get you some water.
So yeah, I just wanted to show that really fast. That's all. I just wanted to show that really fast.
It's so cliche, but by the time I was real age 19, I couldn't turn off the need for a man, any man, in my life. I'd started a secret MySpace page, and then a secret Facebook account. Mama and I had seen an advertisement on TV for VisionCon, a pop culture convention held every year in Missouri. We went 3 years in a row, beginning in 2009. I waited for every spring to come just to dress up and do something fun with Mama. So I began adding people from the convention to my online friends list. I received a Facebook message from Dan around March 2011. In his friend request, he reminded me that he was the
I just don't understand why you skipped Richard. Why did you skip Richard? Why didn't you tell anything about Richard? I know why. I'm going to share these messages. If you're anything like me and have been looking into this and watching this and seeing the lies and inconsistencies, etc., you're going to know about the ever so popular pictures that she sent to her daddy. But listen to what she says right here really fast.
drunk guy who bumped into my wheelchair at VisionCon the month before. Dan was much older than me, in his 30s, and I thought I was 15. I already exhibited daddy issues as I grew to have a mad crush on him.
Now, did she just not say she knew she was 19, 18 by the time her real... Did she just not say that? That all she thought about was men? Did she... Did I just... Was that me? She did just say that. But just now saying when she met Dan, she thought she was 15. Gypsy, Celine, Nancy, explain to me how. She'll say she misspoke because that's what she always says, and that it was the ghostwriter's fault, and there was inconsistencies in this, and I have her in recording saying that she blamed Lifetime, Melissa Moore, and the ghostwriter for these inconsistencies. So she is obsessed with Dan, correct? Let's just get to the main story of Dan. We'll skip Richard for now. We'll get to him later. I want to show you Dan and then get into why Richard, I feel, is more important than even Dan. Maybe not. For all I know, it could be Dan that I'm thinking of. Anywho, let me get to the Dan story. And I just want to throw this in here really fast.
What kinds of concerts would I go to if I were allowed to listen to popular music?
She did go to concerts. Dee Dee posted it on their Facebook page. They went to a lot of concerts. Miranda Lambert has photos together with Gypsy because she donated $3,000 to Gypsy. She went to her favorite music concerts. Anywho,
What kind of kisser would I be if I were allowed to see Dan? Dan was the first person I ever told that I could walk.
you said Nick was. Wait, I'm confused. Nancy, Celine, do you want to hear how she told Nick and Dan she could walk? I'll help you out. Here we go.
I wanted to show you something special, something that I haven't showed you before, mainly because I was scared to and I didn't really know how to. So, anyway, this is what I want to show you. I hope you like my dress. But I don't think it's the dress that you're probably excited about right now. So, it's finally nice to show you after all this time. I'm sorry to keep it a secret from you for so long, but it's not just you that I'm keeping it a secret from. It's sort of like everybody who knows me. I don't even know how I got started. When I was 6 years old, I went into the hospital for like 6 months, and the doctors told me that I had a seizure in surgery, and I wouldn't be able to walk, that I was paralyzed permanently. And that part, like the part that I had a seizure, was true. In surgery, I had the seizure and I was paralyzed, but what they didn't know is that it was temporary paralysis and not permanent. And by the time I started to get my feeling back in my legs, and I hadn't tried to walk then, but I was too young and I just kept it to myself. And throughout the years, I tried to tell my mom a few times, and I guess I was just...
Wait, Nancy, Celine, did you hear that? Did she try to tell her mom? But I thought her mom made her get in the wheelchair. Anywho, let's continue.
afraid of her not loving me as much as she does if I couldn't walk. You know, I didn't want to make her sad or lose any love from her. I guess that's the reason why I kept it a secret from her. And so I just kept it to myself for a long time until 2011, whenever I sort of started rebelling as a teenager and ran away from home. Literally ran away from home and stumbled. Before I ran away,
I also want to say it was 9 years old, not 6. 9. That's what. And if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But I thought she was put in a wheelchair at 9, not 6. If that was her real age, she's trying to say. She is right here, 22. In 2011, she was 20. She was 20 in 2011. They found out her microdeletion in 2011 also. Do I think that Gypsy lied to her mother for a long time? I do. Do I think that she got tired of having to sit in a wheelchair though? Probably, right? Yeah. But also, Dee Dee told Rod, and Rod is on camera saying Dee Dee told him she needed the wheelchair for even just getting tired. That she could walk. She got her feeling back and could walk. Because they thought she had muscular dystrophy until she was tested. And that was ruled out. She had an unknown etiology, sorry. They knew some kind of genetic disorder was going on. They just didn't know what. Muscular dystrophy is one of those. She would get weak. She would get tired after walking or playing and would get into the wheelchair. But I do think that she lied to her mother and said she couldn't feel her legs. I absolutely believe that. It's just my opinion. It's just my opinion.
I started trying to walk as much as I could. And I just got enough strength to be able to leave home. Unfortunately, it was the wrong person. And so Mom's kind of in denial in a way. I don't really know, because I guess it would be too hard to explain to all our friends and everything. And one thing I never want to go is like a liar. And
did you hear her? Her mother was in denial because she said it would be so hard to explain to friends and family. Dee Dee was going to be embarrassed that she had lied about it. Again, I'm just saying, Dee Dee didn't force this girl to do anything. She loved the attention. She loved the money, the gifts, the celebrities that she got to meet, the trips to Disney. She loved it. She enjoyed it until she did get older and Mama was sick and she knew she was going to have to help take care of her mom. She didn't want to do that. She didn't want to do that. Dee Dee didn't want her looking like a liar. Dee Dee protected her every which. It didn't matter what this child did. Dee Dee would lie for her and protect her. Cover for her. But she's not a child. It's Dee Dee's child. She was still an adult. I don't think people understand that. I do think Dee Dee would have been in denial. No, you didn't lie to me. I can't believe you lied to me. I believe Dee Dee was in denial. She knew that Gypsy was sick. I just don't think she believed Gypsy would embellish, exaggerate, intentionally fail tests, etc. for attention. That's what I think. And when she seen that happen, when that was real, I do not know. I do believe it was before Dan, but I do believe that happened for a while where Gypsy lied to Dee Dee and said she couldn't feel her legs. I do believe that it shocked Dee Dee. That's just my opinion. They didn't have a choice, though, after. What were they going to say to people that have been giving them all this money and supporting them, etc.? What were they going to say? Dee Dee was so embarrassed. I could imagine.
Believe me, I would like for people to know the truth, but being as it is, I would lose a lot of friends, I think.
But she didn't have friends, she said, Nancy and Celine. What friends is she going to lose? I'm confused.
I was always high when talking to Dan, dreaming about moving away with him, being quirky and silly, always telling him jokes. One day, while Mama and I were being put up at the American Cancer Society Hope Lodge in Kansas City, while visiting doctors at Mercy Hospital, Dan and I communicated through phone calls on a government burner phone, one of 3 that Mama had. I hadn't done any rebelling yet, so Mama didn't have any reason not to trust me with one of her phones. Plus, she didn't think I had anyone to call or text anyway. So, she gave me the phone like you'd give an old cell phone to a child to play with as a toy. Mama was in the kitchen, and I was in the ensuite bathroom, pacing around the tiled floor while talking to Dan, like any typical teenage girl swooning over a boyfriend. I had called to tell him that I found my Medicaid card in my mother's wallet, and that despite her cover-up that it was a typo, I suspected I was older than my mom told me I was. The birth date on the card was 4 years earlier than I had known my birthday to be.
No, what happened was she blamed it on Dee Dee and was explaining why she's really not 15. Dan, I'm actually 19. We can date because she was obsessed with him. Did you hear her? She was drawn to him instantly. She already had daddy issues, blah, 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 blah. She became obsessed with Dan just like she did Nick, just like she did Richard, just like she did any man she spoke to. Yes. But she couldn't tell Dan that, right? You know how she just told Nick? She couldn't just tell Dan because they would hate her for lying. They had been raising money for her. Yeah. They built her whole pink Star Wars body armor suit because of her conditions and her illnesses and her little kid, well, she was a kid to them, 15-year-old kid. Well, she wasn't. She wanted to be with Dan. So what does she do? I gotta tell him the truth, but I can't tell him I'm lying. Mama lied. Not me, Mama.
But also relieved to think that I could actually be 19 years old, not 15. I knew that my being of legal age could change a lot of things for me and Dan, so I put aside the thought that I was being held captive by an evil stepmother, and I focused on my fairy tale godmother granting my wish to be with my prince.
Do you hear this nonsense? And you said this right here explains everything. This is ridiculous. I'm sorry, but this is just stupid. So she gets caught talking to Dan, she says, and Dee Dee's outraged. Dee Dee knows these people at VisionCon. Dee Dee loved to have fun and dance too. Do you not remember her and Dee Dee saw this commercial for it and thought it would be fun to go to? Yes. Dee Dee also had Gypsy in Girl Scouts, brownies, cheerleading camp, pageants, Bible, it was summer Bible school, etc. I think Dee Dee pushed Gypsy to be around other kids too, but knew that there were freakouts that she likes to say, Gypsy, not Dee Dee. Because she says it all the time to Nick. She has freakouts and she's sorry. She's hard to handle and she just flips, right? I think Dee Dee knew how dangerous Gypsy was. Let's be honest. Anywho, Dan was much older and he was on parole and he was an addict. So if my 19-year-old was talking to a 35-year-old dude, yeah, who was sketchy and had a questionable, I wouldn't want her with him either. Starting her life out that way. No.
When I sensed her cloud of anger evaporating, I began talking on the phone to Dan again, this time to unload all the suspicions I had about my medical history. It was a relief to confide in someone. He showed me attention and let me speak. I thought it was possible for him to take me out of my captive existence. He told me he had a farm in Arkansas, that we could run away there, and he'd hide me. I told him I didn't think I had cancer, and that I could walk, and I was so confused. Who am I? Who is she? And why is she doing this?
This is so ridiculous. I'm sorry. This is what they chose. Never mind. But let's just see what she says here really fast.
22nd. Dan texted Mama's phone, which I had hidden in my dresser drawer on my side of the bed. I'm in the hospital, the text said. I got beat up real bad. I'd like you to be with me. So I
Can we clarify that he testified at Nick's trial saying he did not text her and he did not tell her he was at the hospital. She just showed up. That's what he testified to.
grabbed the phone and my government phone, which had run out of minutes, and stuffed them inside a backpack, full of girl-woman confusion. I had to go to him. I packed up a Lilo and Stitch movie, my baby bottle, and a change of nipples, a pair of stolen jeans, and stolen lingerie. As I stole Mama's cash and Oxy stash, I was scared as hell. I threw on a pair of oversized jeans, since I didn't know my size. I had stolen them a few weeks before in preparation for running away.
She didn't steal them in preparation of running away. She steals all the time. And I'll show you.
Jeans felt scratchy at first. It was the first time I wore anything fashionable. I put on a stolen black tank top over a red bra that was 2 sizes too big, and a beach wave blonde wig. I scribbled a note in the darkness of the kitchen, left it on the seat of my wheelchair, and slipped out the back door. Dear Mother, I know I could walk. I don't think I have cancer. I don't feel sick. I know that I'm really 19. I want to live my own life as an independent woman. I love you. It's just time for me to spread my wings and fly. I'm going up to St. Louis. I love you. Your grown-up daughter. Walking up the street, I felt out of breath because I wasn't used to carrying the weight of my own body. In the middle of the night, I walked to the subdivision of the houses across the street, knocked on a stranger's door, and asked for a ride to see my boyfriend in the hospital.
Didn't call the cops, didn't call for help, didn't call a taxi cab. She had money. She goes to a stranger?
When I arrived at the hospital emergency room, I texted Dan. I had been in this same ER too many times to count with my mom. My adrenaline was pumping, and I just wanted to lie as low as possible for fear I'd be recognized. I stayed with Dan until he was released, and we caught a ride home with his cousin. Dan was couch surfing at a friend's house, so his cousin took us back there. When we arrived, I was tentative with Dan. Looking at the bongs and the bugs around the apartment, I was disheartened that I hadn't escaped the perfect picture I had drawn in my mind. Come lay with me, Dan said, as he showed me to the spare room where he lay down on a mattress. I joined him, my hand covering my feeding tube, a gaping symbol of how starved I was. I lay with...
She wasn't starved, though. She's very healthy in her videos. She's above her weight average when she's arrested. She was never starved. She actually gained weight when she got her feeding tube. And she has a eating aversion. It's all in the medical records. She was 36 pounds before the feeding tube at 6 years old. And was, within months, almost 60 pounds with the feeding tube. Do I think she needed it forever? No. But she needed it as a child. All these symptoms that she had, the weakness in walk, like her muscle weakness, the sleep apnea, stuff like that. This is very common issues. And every test she had correlates with her 1Q21.1 microdeletion. They just didn't know what it was. In 2008, they figured out what it was. There are only 36 or 63 people diagnosed in the world with this 1Q21.1, I think is what I read. But hey, Gypsy, go on, Queen.
Dan, pecked him on the cheek, fidgeting my body so he wouldn't feel the tube, and willing myself to fit into him like a human jigsaw. When will we leave tomorrow? I asked him, trusting he had handled the logistics. That's when he told me he couldn't leave the state. He was on parole.
I don't believe for a second she just found that out. I don't. Bottom line is, Dan didn't want her there. He did not text her. His friends in the house didn't want her there. And they contacted Dee Dee to come get her. And yes, Dee Dee came. And yes, Dee Dee was mad. She was mad that a man who is on parole, who is an addict, she was angry. And I don't blame her. I mean, I'd want her with a guy her own age too. And I don't think she thought Gypsy was mature enough to handle a relationship with how she acts. Look at her. And her being let down by how the place looked. And it wasn't her fairy tale she pictured, because everything's a story in her head. It's not real. That's what y'all don't get. Now listen to what she says here.
Dan had been in jail? I risked so much by leaving Mama, and now I was with someone who couldn't take care of me?
What were you risking? You risked so much by leaving Mama? Somebody who couldn't take care of you financially, because it does matter, guys. If somebody can financially take care of her, she can't take care of herself. She still can't to this day. She's not taking care of herself. Mommy is still taking care of her. Every dime she makes is off of the red rum of her mother. She's scared. She just said she was scared. Imagine that.
I couldn't go back to her house, especially not after I lied, stole, and ran away. But how could I go?
What did you lie about, Gypsy? Not speaking to him or telling Dan all these lies? That's what you meant. And her worrying that people at VisionCon are going to think it's her lying, but it's you. Because we have video of you saying how your mom protected you and covered for you again. I want to get through this really fast because there's a point. This is a little longer video, but I promise.
Go with him. I spoke with Dan in a panic. I was sandwiched between two hopeless options. I'll find work in St. Louis, Dan said. Then Dan's friend knocked on the bedroom door and leaned against the doorframe. Hey, what's your name? He asked, with a knowing look on his face. Gypsy, I answered, instantly regretful of telling the truth. Your mother's here.
So here's my question. You just said you risked everything with your mama. Again, what did you risk if it was so miserable there? And how is that a hopeless situation? How are you stuck in two hopeless situations if you risked everything by leaving her? What did you risk, Gypsy? That makes no sense to me. Oh.
It happened so fast, but in slow motion. My brain couldn't quite catch up to what was happening. It was 6 or 7 in the morning, and she had tracked me down.
She didn't track you down. They called her. They called her. They testified to it. They called her. Again, another lie.
My brain couldn't quite catch up to what was happening. It was 6 or 7 in the morning, and she had tracked me down, with the help of some convention friends who knew Dan. I stood up from the bed. She looked at my legs with the same disdain she had in the alleyway. Where's the money? Mama asked, eyeballing Dan. Gypsy, talk to me on the porch. I don't know what Dan or his friends were thinking, but like a puppy dog, I followed her to the porch. Get in the van, she said with a hint of understanding. We'll talk about this. No, Mama. I know that I'm 19 years old, and I can be with him if I want to. She didn't react or try to gaslight me. Instead, she bargained as if I had attained some equality and control of my destiny. If you come back with me, I'll let you see him, Mama said. Promise? I think I believed her out of hope that she was seeing me as the person I was growing into, somehow magically becoming aware of my awareness. Yes, go get your stuff, and we'll go home. She threatened Dan one more time, and later told all our mutual acquaintances that he was a pedophile.
So that doesn't make no sense. You just said that you made your mama promise you could see him, but as she's walking out the door with you, she threatened Dan one more time. And then continued to tell all your friends that he was a P3DO. And you know what? You're lying. You did that, Gypsy, not Dan. Shall we look at that really fast? Nancy and Celine, look at what Gypsy posted in on Facebook for everybody to see. This man who was her love, who was her safe place, etc. She says she never heard. Wait.
I never heard from him again.
She never heard from him again, which is not true because he blocked her on everything. She wouldn't leave him alone. But again, let me show you really fast. Shall I show you that? Because I'm gonna. So, March 31st, 2015, a little girl, 13-year-old little girl, gets kidnapped. Nancy Grace, Celine, Gypsy Rose. This is her account. Emma Rose was her alt account. All moms that live in Missouri, beware of Dan Glidewell. He has a cover pic of Supergirl. He is 40 years old and likes underage girls. This is the Dan that she just said she was in love with, and she was going to run away with him, and they were planning to go to St. Louis and have a farm. But you know what you see on her and Nick's web searches? Looking up how much it costs to survey land, to build a tiny home, a whole farm thing still. Anywho, she said this, but let me also remind you what she said about this little 13-year-old girl. It goes on to explain, I know this story all too well. I was 15 when I made a secret Facebook for my mom. 15. You were not 15. You were 20, Gypsy. 19 and 20. I'm sorry, she was 19. Man, I don't even know. I just know she was over 18 and she was an adult, okay? I met a 40-year-old man that lives in Springfield. He took a broom. He broomed me and said he would take me away, marry me, and we would live happily ever after on his farm. And you know, she believed him. And this is what she says right here. Not 5 hours later, my mom, thank God, found me by herself because the guy and my mom had mutual friends in common. One told my mom where I was, and I was found. I was so mad at my mom that day, but now looking back, I'm grateful because I could have been essayed, red rummed. Let me go back. Hold on. But I wasn't gone long enough to be. That was 4 years ago. Yeah, 2011. So my mother still don't trust me 100%. So all I got to say to this girl, you made the worst choice of your life. She needs to suffer her consequences of her choices. You have a long road ahead of you. Stay a kid, and stop keeping secrets from your mother. That's not all she said, though. That's not all she said. Let's see the last thing she said, which is, yeah. Here she is, Emma Rose, still commenting. It's on a news channel on Facebook. It's a news post, KY3's post that she keeps commenting on with other people. I'm so happy I'm not the only one who thinks this girl is in the wrong as well. She is as much to blame as that sick P3DO. She just said she was 15, but she says 13, 16, still underage. Same difference. You know. Discussing this, she meant disgusting. Disgusting. This girl wanted what she got. This 13-year-old is the same as a 16-year-old, mature-wise, brain-wise, everything. Wrong. Completely wrong. But anywho, she got what she wanted. What she got. This girl wanted what she got. She ran away to be with him. She's looking at this man as her Prince Charming. No, that's you, Gypsy. You. Even though he is old enough to be her grandfather, she obviously needs professional help. She is a lying, manipulating little, and I will leave that out. So again, Nancy Grace and Celine, where is the trauma? You're not hearing it because the victim is not here no more. You guys are defending somebody who said this about a 13-year-old. Could you imagine that 13-year-old's trauma? Has she ever spoke up and said anything? No. Has she also, Nancy Grace and Celine, she has accused 3 different people of SA and admitted she has, and they never did, including a prison mate that she was cellmates with, that she had a relationship with. He got sent to the hole, got rid of, was going to be charged with it. And then when they sent her to prison, she decided to tell the truth. This is the girl you guys keep defending. Before I go on to my next topic, I want to show you this. This is a news article. You can still click on the news article to see the link. So it's from the New York Post, and this is from about Dee Dee and her daughter. They are posting from when it first happened, stuff about her, until older. And Dee Dee is in this newspaper talking about how she is so happy for Gypsy, for meeting Nicholas. It even says his name, Nicholas Godejohn, right there. They're in love. She tells all her friends and family about him. He's 26 years old. It says, I can't see it on here, but you can see this right here. Dee Dee expresses Gypsy 19 looked oh my gosh, I can't see what it says. I'd have to go click on the link again to read it. But yeah, it's crazy, you guys. And she told friends and neighbors that her and Nick were together. Dee Dee didn't hate Nick like she keeps telling you guys. You guys are... But also, I want to get to this one other part. And you guys are defending this girl. In 2011, it was either Dan or Richard. That's all I know, because Richard and Dan were in that time frame. Dan was mid-30s. He was 44 years. So he was 36 when she ran off with him. I wouldn't want my 18, 19-year-old with a 36-year-old either, who was on probation, didn't have a job, and was asking her to steal money and medicine. That's what I think. Or Gypsy just did it because she knew he'd want it. and it would make him happy. Yeah. Anywho, let's get to the good part, shall we? I'm done with this. I just wanted to give you just a few little bit of lies that can be verified that are lies. Now, I was listening to this as I had to stop because I've been working on this video and another video that I've been working on for like 4 days. That's separate from my daily videos. I'm trying to put together like a really nothing emotional, etc. Just a good timeline of from start to finish, kind of. I say trying, you guys. When I say trying, I mean I'm trying to like get the messages, the web search browsers, all the timelines to match up, right? Yeah. I have been working on videos since 2 p.m. today. 2! So, yeah, I took a break. My son was hungry and I had to get him food. So, as I'm making the food, I listened to Becca's live. We all know the story of, and we have the phone conversations from prison or jail. It wasn't prison, it was jail, where Gypsy wanted I'll let you listen to it. Okay. Let's take a listen. Shall we? And I'm gonna credit Beneficial Reply 490 and Reddit for this. Thank you.
Hey, sweetie. How you doing, boo?
Still very shaken up.
This will be okay, sweetie.
Like I never asked him to be that person.
Yeah. But we'll get through it, baby. You know.
How can you possibly still be so supportive after knowing what y'all found out today?
Baby, because we love you. And it's unconditional love. Baby?
Had a rough morning, but it got better after I got to take a shower.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, guess who's on the side of me and can't wait to talk to you?
Daddy?
Your daddy. Here he is.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Hey, Daddy.
Are you hanging in there?
I'm trying. I'm really, really trying.
Yeah, I bet.
It's extremely hard.
You feel tired?
Oh, yeah. And, it's like being here, I've never, ever been in a place like this before. And being in jail is not easy. I say, if there's a heck, I'm in it because heck is jail.
Yes, I know. It's going to be the hardest thing that you'll ever be, baby. The hardest thing.
And I'm like, it's, you wake up and they give you dry cereal, like a small cup of dry cereal.
I'm going to skip past this part and just get you to the good part, okay? Because I don't want to hear about what she ate. How about that? I also want to remind you that these are in July, a month after she's arrested, at least. Even the statements that the detectives took, July 15th, that's a month after, where Rod says Gypsy and Dee Dee, she kept her away from him and, you know, he just didn't get to see her and they just took Dee Dee's word for it. That story was already made up. HBO had already stepped in. Mike Stanfield was there the day she got arrested and started making the deal. HBO released Mommy, Dad, and Dearest before Nick even went to trial. They wouldn't give him his discovery, but somebody in the DA's office released Nick's discovery to HBO before he even seen it. You can't do that. They gave all the evidence to the HBO documentary. Tell me there's not corruption. So, well, I don't even care anymore, Celine. You're just a joke. But Nancy, this is what you do. You fight for victims. You don't fight for victims. You're, in my humble opinion, just somebody who can't ever admit they're wrong, harsh, rude, and just likes to yell for attention and money. Honestly, Nancy Disgrace. But let's get to this phone call, huh?
Well, to be honest, Daddy, I understand that we haven't had a chance to get close in a long time, probably my whole life, but truth is I've always wanted to get close to you. Our part we lived, and of course you having a job, you know, we never got a chance to have a real close relationship, and I want that. I really want to build a good, close relationship with you. And it's like, I don't want you to ever think that I'm mad at you or that I don't love you. I do love you, and I love you in a way that I know that we're blood, but I honestly want more than that. I want to build a relationship with you, and I want to get to know you, and I want you to get to know me. You know, I know that on the news, they're painting me out to be this horrible person, but you know my heart, Daddy. You know that, you know, everything Mama told you is true. I am truly a good girl, and, you know, I've always loved you, and I would never hurt Mama, and I know that you probably have some questions about, you know, probably my health, and what happened to Mama and stuff like this, and I'll be able to explain that whenever I'm in Missouri. Just know that I'm innocent and know that I'm still your little girl.
Yeah, that's you, David. It's true.
And I just know as soon as I just wanted to get in touch, as soon as I get to Missouri, I'm going to want to see y'all.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Okay. I'm going to hang up now, but I just wanted to get in touch with you so I could at least have some comfort for tonight.
It's all about her. She just needed her comfort. Rob was speechless. He's like, what the freak? Christy also sitting there listening to it, knowing just a couple years before they had to go through a whole debacle where Gypsy had sent some inappropriate photos of her and a man, nudes, to her daddy and blamed it on her neighbor Aaliyah with Mancy, which is also wasn't Aaliyah. Let's get into it. May 21st, 2011, guys. I think this is Dan. I'm just guessing. Yeah, it was because, remember, he was at the hospital not long after. Anywho, I'm wasting time. It says, we love y'all too. Well, that's Dee Dee responding to what Christy said, but I'm going to read you what Dee Dee said first, okay? Christy messaged Dee Dee, but listen. Dee Dee says we love y'all too. When I saw that filth, I deleted that disgusting Facebook and took Chip's computer away. I fussed for 2 days straight. My doctor had to increase my heart meds. I did not read everything, but what I did made me sick. Please explain to little Mia that whatever was written was not her sister, but a mean person named Aaliyah. Chip told me Aaliyah helped her like her nurse helps her. She has trouble reading and writing. Now, we all know how she intercepts messages, right? Is this Dee Dee? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Would Dee Dee cover for her? Absolutely. And and can't see well, so she needs help. I called that Slayton's mom and her to come over, and Aaliyah admitted everything. And she even, I can't read the last part, is going to hate me. I don't know. I told her we are going to call our family and her true friends and talk to. My son came in, sorry. Talk to them and explain. And if anyone knows Gyp, they will know that that is not how she is. As far as a boyfriend, Gyp has never had, doesn't want one, and doesn't think that way. She still wants to be a nun when she grows up, and we are always together. The only men that come over here are the medical equipment delivery, pharmacy delivery, and diaper delivery, and I have to sign for them. When we get to go to the 501st meetings, I am there, and everyone is respectable. And she is never left alone. So again, please accept our heart-filled apology and know that we love y'all. And most importantly, like we told Rod, y'all are always there for us, and we are always there for y'all. We are not a divorced family. We are a loving family. Love and hugs, D. This is from the Good Wives Network. I want to make sure that these Becca Scoops has them. Credit to Becca Scoops. I was literally, when I got his food, was listening to this as we were doing the food. I only got to catch this part, and I'm telling you, this was like, I don't know, it was meant to be. That's all I'm going to say with this video. I got to hurry. This video is way too long. I'm scared it might not upload. Oh my God. Okay. So I'm crediting the Good Wives Net. It's good, the Good Wives Net, but it's the Good Wives Network and Becca Scoops because I see it on there and I want to give credit to the original creator. Let's see what Chrissy said. Christy said, when I read all what was put, I was very stunned and even told Gyps that she should tell you about her Facebook. And she said it was just a place where she could express herself. Well, I got that. Being a young teenage girl, I did not think it was a big deal at the time. Did all that, which is not really a friend. I can't read all of it, but we will have, oh, hold on. Here we go. Thank you, Becca. Okay. What we all have worked on for so long, and that is to be one big happy family. We all love one another. We have each other's back if needed. We may be states away, but we are always thinking of y'all, and if y'all ever needed us, we would get there as soon as we could. I'm sure all of this was not good for your heart. I don't want you to feel that by any means we thought it was her. I can say for myself, I thought there was no way in heck that it was her, and I know Rod told you I thought something was fishy. I thought something was fishy going on. I just hope that girl knows how much trouble she can get into by law. And she is lucky you are not pressing any charges, because that is serious. That's felony charges. None of us hate you, D. We love you. I can say. And then, maybe these are out of order, I don't know, but okay, it says something, brother. I had to sit Mia down and try to give her the best answers I could. Something, Gypsy. The blame on their father. Why she was ill. She was so confused. Let's see. I tried to give her the best answers I could. I wish I could see that. Could something, Gypsy puts the blame on their father as to why she was ill. I think that's what it says. Rod also had to explain that he was not innocent and did make bad choices in his life by drinking and doing rugs at that point in time, and Rod really was not mad at Gyps. None of us were. We were just in awe that she felt that way. But knowing all her history with her illness, that is just human nature to lash out. And Rod and I understood that. But as for Mia and Dylan, they were a bit confused. We did explain to them that it was her friend that did all that, which is not really a friend that would try to ruin what we all have worked on for so long. And that is to be one big happy family. We love all of you. Wow. Wow. Is there any more? Now, I don't know. We just all heard the stories. It's always been, if you've been in this, you have known about the story for a long time. And I think it's the same thing with Nick. She had her account. She was posting her and Nick on there. But this was with a guy. Was it Dan? I think so now. She just said she had daddy issues, and I guess she's blaming all of her issues on her dad. You see how sweet Dee Dee is, and every time she messages Rod, it's always, please tell Gyp, please call Gyp, please come see Gyp. Even here, Gypsy in 2014 is telling Nick, well, she just posted this on Facebook, actually. Wow. Okay, so today Mom got a Facebook message from my dad. Says, oh crap, I forgot her birthday. I feel horrible, really. You forgot your own daughter's birthday? Yep, that's a sperm donor for you. He never deserved the title of father, as he has never been there for me, so what I never knew can't hurt me. And then on September 6th, 2014, she blocked Mia. Right after this. Like a month later, she blocks Mia. I am with Becca on this. I do not believe that has anything to do with what was sent to Rod and the post they seen on Facebook. I do not think this has anything to do with it. None. No. 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 Gypsy has a pattern and a history of blocking Mia. She just blocked me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, any platform. And then Christmas unblocked her. I don't know if she unblocked her, she unfollowed. And she unfollowed Chrissy too. She unfollowed Ken. Ken unfollowed her. That's a whole, I want to be a celebrity and I'm important, so I'm going to cause a stir. That's what I think, Nancy and Celine. But, again, this is the girl that her whole life people have covered for her and lied for her. Dee Dee lied for her here. Dee Dee lied for her when she shot her with the pellet gun. Dee Dee lied for her when she chased her through their house with daggers. And that's what we know of. And then, for the love of money, Rod and Christy take Gypsy's side because of her lie she told to Dan Glidewell and Richard King. To them, her mama wouldn't let her tell the world she could walk. That's what I get from that message she told Nick. When Dee Dee finally knew she could walk, Dee Dee was like, heck no. So that's why I feel like they got the whole, she's forcing her to be in a wheelchair. No. I think she told Gypsy, you're going to have to figure it out. That's what I think. And Gypsy chose to keep the gifts and the money and the con going as long as she could. That's what she chose. That's what I think. I'm sticking to it. Absolutely. This, this will be a part 1. How about that? I don't know if I'll do a part 2 to this today. Definitely not today. It's after 12, But I'm going to leave you with a couple goodies, Celine and Nancy Disgrace. And then we'll end this until the next part. We're going to keep going through the book, and I'm going to keep calling out lies. Yeah. Pay attention to her demeanor, Celine and Nancy Disgrace.
You had talked about a few topics that I totally believe are true. And one is that you had changed me, and that you had changed your personality into making kind of like a double copy of you. And I fully believe that that's true because, yes, I have a confidence in me that is a lot different than it used to be.
Hold on, let's get to it. I can't be playing a ton of stuff. She just never, she goes and goes and goes, kind of like me. She goes on and on, but I need to get to the point.
And unfortunately, quite recently, that confidence led to me getting in trouble. I knew that having that second profile would lead to some sort of trouble. I'm getting an uneasy feeling about this. I want to close it down. And you're like, no, let's keep it up, just as a precaution, let's keep it up. So I'm like, okay, we'll keep it up. I changed the picture to a picture that I like. I thought that, honestly, it was perfect 50 Shades of Grey picture to put on there. Because on the books, since I'm reading the books, and we are into the BDSM lifestyle, since the books, they have the mask, the tie, and the handcuffs, and I got all three in the picture. I thought it would be so cool because the movie just came out, and I'm like, well, hey, it's a great idea to post that picture as my profile picture on there. Nobody hardly knows me on that profile. I don't even have any friends on that profile except for you. So nobody would even think to, take that picture and put it somewhere else. Well, not too long later, like a day later, my mom and I have this fundraising site. It's called Gypsy's Trip. It's on Facebook. It's a page. It just kind of keeps people abreast of or updated about how my health is doing, what I'm up to, stuff like that. But it's mostly for medical purposes. And this person, whoever it is, I think it's a fake name. Decides to say, post publicly on this website, why donate to this girl when she does this? She doesn't seem ill to me. And then it had my picture. And I have 107 likes on that page. So that means 107 people saw that picture. I am mortified because my grandmother probably saw that picture. Well, she's not my actual grandmother, but kind of like a God-given grandmother. She's like a grandmother. Everybody from my godfather, friends, family, everybody saw that picture. And, I know that my mom's trying to cover it up by saying, well, somebody was mean and it was photoshopped or something like that to kind of cover my reputation because, if those pictures get out and I want to become a famous artist someday, I don't want that to be held over my head and be like, oh, you're this big, great, famous artist. Oh, look at naked pictures of you. Haha, I could blackmail you with it. And it could be Dan. It could be his girlfriend. I don't know. They seem pretty pissed at me. After I explained to this girl, this woman, whatever, that I don't want him back. I'm not a threat to his relationship. I'm not. And I once I wanted to be friends, but not no more. It's war now. If it's him, it's war. If it's her, it's war. And then the same person sends the link of the profile with the picture in a message to my mom, but my mom has strict filtering on her messages, so I was able to intercept the message before she was able to read it to know that it was a profile. So I explained it away by being like, well, it was taken 5 years ago. I made it, I sent it to Dan, and he clearly either sent it to, I guess, a buddy, or he shared it, or he's the one that posted it to blackmail me or whatever, or try to ruin my reputation now. And she bought the whole thing. I'm happy about that. So, I mean, I wasn't about to throw us under the bus and be like, well, yeah, I'm seeing, you know, a guy that 2 years ago talked me into having a BDSM relationship with him. You know, that's the kind of
So now she's saying that Nick is doing the same thing that Dan did. Do we see the pattern, Celine and Nancy? Do we see it now? Are you there? Are you getting it? Is it clicking in your brains? She's now blaming Dan. But she intercepted that message so Dee Dee didn't see it. But then Dee Dee blocked the page for her and said it was a Photoshop pic, etc., so she could save her reputation. How does that make sense? How would Dee Dee know about it if she intercepted and blocked the message from coming through? How did Dee Dee know? How? I would love to know, Celine and Nancy. Could you tell me? Dee Dee didn't block the page. She did. She said it was Photoshop. I'm trying to do like she does it, didn't work. Anywho, explain, Celine and Celine needs Clancy. We're just gonna go Clancy. We're gonna smush you two names together, Clancy. I'm tired of saying both names.
that picture was like taken the day before yesterday. You know, that's
not 5 years ago. Did you hear that, girls? Did you hear that, Clancy?
the last thing that I want to do. I throw myself under the bus before I throw us under the bus. So what I'm trying to say is I took up for us again. I took the heat for us again. Not only for the mistake that I made with the picture, but of course the mistake that I made with Aaliyah being on my other Facebook that you had to delete too. So it's like, I see now that having only one profile is a good idea, and that's only for...
It's interesting, and Leah's always drug into it, and why not? Because she's an easy person to blame it on. So was that Dee Dee talking to Christy? I don't know. You tell me. I know it's just going to be, oh yes, it is her, it is her. But, you know, we can't... How come you're going to believe one thing and not the other and this? I mean, that just don't make sense. That would be something pretty believable because she's that sneaky and conniving and manipulating to make sure she can do that. Dee Dee was not paying that close attention then, I'm telling you. She was too sick.
Other than that, having more than one, people are gonna try and ruin me and ruin us, and it's gonna interrupt with our relationship, and it's gonna, you know, my mom could only give me so many chances. And, you know.
Yeah. And listen to this, Clancy. I want to point out, Clancy, that she has contacted Nick's ex, just like she did Dan's ex that I just showed you. That's what... You did understand that, right? She was contacting Dan's ex and girlfriend because that's how they got the photo. I'll explain it later. I guess I didn't show you that. Just let me finish this first. I also want to point out, I think Dee Dee is home right here. The phone rings twice and it gets answered after 2 rings. Like that's very quick to pick up the phone, or for an answering machine. It was at least 4. It wouldn't do it until 4. Just listen.
But then I remember whenever you and I first got together, when I looked at your profile, so I saw a couple of your exes and how you treated them, and you treated them very good. And I saw that you called them your soulmate, and that's what gave her, what she said, credibility. And and I just don't want to end up like my mother. My dad used to hit her and be mean to her, and then he'd just say, I'm sorry. She'd forgive him, and then he found another girl, and then he left us. And I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want us to get married, and then us have a child, and then you find another woman, and then you leave us.
So insecure.
Because it's hard being a daughter. You feel like your father doesn't care, because he doesn't. He left. He cared about me instead. And it just feels like everyone wants to leave me because I drive people away. It's who I am. I have my hard times, and then there are people that can't handle it. You know, sometimes my mom, she wants to leave me. She wants to kick me out or whatever. She doesn't want me anymore. There are times that it gets that way because I get difficult to handle. I get difficult to be with. I'm not always horrible, as you know. I have good times. I have times that I've made you happy. I have times that I've hurt you.
I think that says enough. I'm not even going to get the email that Nick received where I don't even know if he received it. Gypsy had his password. I think she intercepted it because he said she was intercepting his messages from all of his friends, from Ali and his other friends to hang out. She was getting into his Facebook and Skype accounts and intercepting their messages too. So no, I'm not going to say that for sure that he saw this. But yes, Dan's girlfriend messaged Nick, your girlfriend will not leave us alone. We have blocked her. We have told her, leave us alone. And she will not. And she continues to send us nude photos. Maybe if we tell you, you'll do something with her. That red jacket she has. Yeah. They sent him a message too, not just Dee Dee. Just saying. I don't think either one of them got those messages. I do not. Because he doesn't ever say anything. I haven't ran into it in the text either. Okay. This is almost an hour and 43 minutes. I gotta stop now. This is part 1 to her My Time to Stand, and we're gonna go throughout the book. I promise you. It might not be back to back, but we're gonna do it. So this is for Clancy. I hope you two gals get it now. Maybe it'll start clicking. Like Gypsy said, it's 9 a.m. I'm not used to getting up at 9 a.m. I'm not clicking. Anywho, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. And if I should continue to educate Salim and Nancy Disgrace on these lies. Anywho, I'm gonna eat. I'm hungry. I am hungry. So I love you guys, and let me know what you guys think about this. If this is too much, just let me know. But I'd like to make another one. I'd like to keep going through the timelines like this through her book, just the book, and show these lies that they refuse to see. The book is their holy grail of truth, right? That and Mommy, Dad, and Dearest. Both are going. Yeah. But, yeah. Oh, before we go, Gypsy made a new TikTok. Yes. Gypsy Rose Official. That 9 mil following count is no good to her. You want to know why? It can't be monetized anymore. It isn't any good to her. It doesn't matter if she has 9 mil. She's got to start this new account. So that she can get monetized again. That 9 mil is pretty much, everybody knows it's half fake followers. So I bet that 9 mil following, she only had like 3,000 followers after 6 hours today. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. But it's not about, her new era. It's about money, and it always will be. So keep making content. All right, you guys, I'll see you in the next video. Let me know what you think below. I hope you have a great weekend. It is Friday for me, but it's going to be Saturday for y'all. And happy Friday. I'm going to eat and go to sleep. The chickies are asleep. All right, you guys, I'll see you in the next video. Good night.